Hello, everyone. This is Renee Rentmeester. I'm the creator and executive producer of the Cooking Without Looking TV show and podcast. And today we have someone very special for you. We have Nelly Cardenas. Nelly, welcome.
Hi, Renee. It's always nice talking to you. Thank you. I'm really
Oh,
excited.
oh, good, good. Most of my family aren't, but hey, I'm glad you are. No, I'm just joking around. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have a condition, I have an eye condition called ROP. Uh, um, of course, I'm a premature baby, which says it all. Um, and consequently, it wasn't treated the way it should have. So my retinas in both eyes, became detached. And along with a number of other health issues, doctors said that I would only live for about 72 hours. And, thankfully, um, much more time has passed than 72 hours.
Well,
And
that'll teach them.
yeah, yep. And well, a a lot of people ask me, I get a lot of comments from, family especially. They say, y- you know, sometimes I don't even believe what your eye doctor even says. Because the way you carry yourself, you don't look blind at all.
Uh-oh,
And
that line.
I'm like, really? And because they see me, doing this, doing that, I'm to the point now, over 34 years where I don't even think about it, I'm just used to it. I don't think
Your
about
body.
how to do this, how to do that. No, because I, I don't see myself as, being disabled. I see it as a part of me.
Right. It's
I see
you.
it as a part of me, and I, it's what I want to get out to the world, that disability is, it's not the end of your life. And, there's a lot of people that live depressed and, there's nothing to fear. And yeah, I have a number of hobbies, which include shopping, traveling whenever possible. Um,
Where have you gone? What are some of the places you've been to, Nellie?
oh, I have been to Boston, Massachusetts, in my early infant years. Um, I remember me traveling to Denver, Colorado. I can't remember, several years back when the rainbow was white and black. Um, um,
Do
I've
you
been,
have any sight whatsoever?
no, I don't. Um,
Do you
I
use the
I
cane?
used to have, I'm sorry?
Do you use a cane?
Yes, I do.
So this is a White Cane Awareness Day. I just
Yes.
became aware of it.
Yes, I do. And what was I saying? Oh, I have been to Denver, Colorado. I think it was Denver. Um, I have been to Mexico, um, my hometown. Uh, um, and let's see, where else have I been? Uh, I don't recall at the moment around the local cities here in California.
Well, that's okay. How do you get around with your cane? Describe what it's like. Because I think most of us, if we are not blind and we do not use a cane, you know, we just need to know what it's like to use a cane.
Like I said, I don't even think about stuff like that. So for me, it's, y- you know, the way, how could I explain it? The way The way my doctors describe me as for getting around, they tell me it it's as if you're flying through space because you do things that make you look very flawless. So, you know, I would say that I would say I get along very well. I get around very well. But when it comes to me being like, you know, out and about on the street and stuff like that, I always have, someone from my family or a friend or an acquaintance with me, given the fact that I don't have sense of direction. And it's really difficult for, I'm sorry. It's really difficult for me to navigate with a lot of traffic.
Even with sight, it's difficult with traffic, you
Yeah, it's
know.
really difficult for me to navigate with traffic, but if I'm in a very familiar place, y- like I said, I could be, I could be flying through space and here again, here again we come to the comment, you don't look blind. Well, I always ask myself, well, how is a blind person supposed to look?
Yeah, we never say you don't look sighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what are some of the stories you have? Did you go to school? What was it like in school? Did you go to a special school when you were younger? How did that what did you
Um, I went to, I've been to a number of special schools for the blind here in California, and I must say that I enjoyed, I enjoyed all of them. Um, I have, I have a lot of stories that have happened, but overall, my experience at, school, it was very well. I indeed learned a lot. I even learned faster than, I learned faster than others.
You
And
have a really good attitude. I can hear it in your voice. You have a really good
thank you.
attitude.
Thank you.
Well, what are some of the stories, or one or two, that you want to share with us?
Let's see. Oh, as the podcast is called Cooking Without Looking, I remember I believe it was a month ago, a month and a half ago, and I was craving cake. So, so the cake, it called for 7 Up, and an extended family member that is living with me currently had a beer in the refrigerator.
Oh my God.
And
Okay.
and a very close friend of mine, um, a very close friend of mine, we talk every day. And I always ask him, well, what are you gonna have for dessert? And he would and he'll tell me, well, I got these brownies from Aldi's, or I have Three Musketeers, something. And and he'll tell me, well, or rather, he'll ask me, what are you going to have? And, at the time, or rather, let me backtrack. I accidentally put the beer inside the cake batter, instead of the 7 Up soda because it was tended to be lemon
No.
cake.
You had beer battered cake.
And and um and I told a friend of mine, well, you know, I don't know. I would rather not have the dessert I made because, beer and cake batter it's quite an awkward taste. And, I don't drink. And if I do drink, it's like one shot every year or 3, 4 times a year. But, other than that, that's it. Um, so I said to him, well, I'm skipping dessert for today because, me, I'm not looking forward to the side effects of having beer uh in a cake the next day. So and and
Oh my.
and well, that was that. And like I said, when I'm cooking, I don't even think, you know, because I have all of the things right there that I need, I have them practically next to me.
Well, did
And
somebody try the cake?
no, 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 I didn't let it happen because as soon as I found out that I put the beer in the batter, I threw it out because
Well, I
I,
wonder what that would taste like. It might just be that the alcohol's gone, but then you might have like a little bit of a Swedish kind of flavor because like the aftertaste of beer is sometimes sweet.
you know what? I really plan on trying it one day. And I really
Oh,
plan, I really do. I really plan on trying it one day and I'll let you know how it turns out.
yeah. Well, there's beer batter fish, you can put that in beer batter fish I've had.
Yeah, beer
But
batter fish is very good.
beer in instead of 7 Up is a whole other story.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Well, what about people around you, like your family and stuff? How do they react to you? What was it, you know, how did your family react to you all those years?
Are you saying
Well,
how
with
did
your
they?
blindness, what did they were they accepting of it? Did they sort of like keep you um sort of like keep you under wraps or be careful with you, or did they allow you to be yourself more?
They allowed me to be myself, especially, because I have my little circle with family. My circle, although my family is big, but I have a very, very small circle with, the people that I have a smaller circle with the people that I'm most closest to. And, they just let me be myself, they don't even think. They don't even think, okay, she's blind. Well, okay, no, no, they don't think about me having a disability because, they just say, well, you need to get out there in life and you need to be yourself, because not everyone is going to um not everybody out there is going to think that only because you're blind, this and that, but um, I always, in front of my family, they don't say anything to me. As a matter of fact, they always say that I am very inspiring, and I believe that to a
How does,
point.
how does that make you feel when someone says that to you?
It makes me feel special, but at the same time, if people tell me constantly, it's like, okay, thank you for the compliment, but to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm not understanding what's so inspiring about me, you know?
Right, right. Because you're just living your life.
Yeah.
Well, what's a story that sort of sticks out to you that you'd like to share with us?
A story that sticks out to me.
Something that we can learn from, like a philosophy that you might have.
Hmm, philosophy. Okay, I was told this story by somebody that I'm very close to. And it happened when I was a little girl, a baby. Um, I remember I used to sleep with two of my sisters at the time, shortly after I was born up to when I was probably about 2 years old. And I remember I woke up one night because, for one reason or another, I can't say why. I can't remember the reason given the fact that I was a child still. And I I went to the kitchen and you know, I went to the kitchen and all of a sudden they couldn't find me. My sisters couldn't find me. Uh, so what ended up happening was that an hour later or so, an hour later, possibly 45 minutes, my two siblings that I was staying with at the time, or rather that were taking care of me at the time, they came to the kitchen and they found me playing with all of the pots and pans in the kitchen. They saw me
Oh,
playing with all of the pots and pans and everything in the kitchen, and it's like um and they said to me, or rather they said to each other, then after much later they said to me, we knew, we knew that you um that you have, or rather I would say, they would say to me, well, we knew that God gave you a very special calling because I know they told me that you enjoy, I know that you enjoy the kitchen and all of the culinary stuff, which I do. And they said,
well, very
because
innate.
exactly, and every Thanksgiving, I haven't done it for a few years because I've had a little bit of trouble with my carpal tunnel syndrome, but every year on Thanksgiving or Christmas, either one of the two, I always make this pork dish. And uh you know, a Mexican pork dish, it's really good. I'll give the recipe one day on the TV show. Um and it's something, that my family says to me, well, here again we have this comment. You don't look blind. Are you really blind? Because the way that turned out, it's like it tastes like something that has been cooking from an authentic chef for like hours or days.
It's like, thank you, I think.
Yes. And so, yeah, that's that.
Well, Nelly, tell us,
Yes.
give us your recipe. And as we were talking earlier, it's one of my favorites, especially after living in Miami. But you
hmm
had the Mexican version, and I had the Cuban version. But share with us your recipe of the day.
Yeah, this recipe, it's one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, all of the bouts of COVID that I've had, um, it's the only food that my stomach is able to tolerate because nothing else will do. I try eating something, nope. I could only eat this specific soup. And in Mexico we call it um sopita. Um it's basically pasta. It's made with la moderna pasta. You could use either shells. I love all of them very much. You could either use the shells, the alphabet pasta, the stars, or melon seeds, I believe. Um,
The fideos.
yeah, yeah, fideo too. It's the small it's a small long angel hair pasta. And basically you just brown the pasta in canola oil or whatever is available. Um, you brown it and after it's browned in the um in a blender, you take two tomatoes cut in half along with some onion and two garlic cloves along with a few cups of water. And you blend all of that. And after After all of that is ready, you add it to the pasta that has already been browned. And you could either add salt or, you could either add salt or, the chicken bouillon cubes. I usually add two chicken bouillon cubes depending on how much of the sopita I'm going to make. And, after that, you just cook it for, you let it cook for about, oh, I would say 12 to 15 minutes or until the pasta is to your liking. And it's amazing. I think I might make some after we get done talking. But besides that, it's really good any time of year. Despite it being hot, it's also very, very good because of course, me, it's one of the foods that I practically grew up with. For me, it's a comfort food. And my family, the rest of my family doesn't like it. I still
Really?
haven't, yeah, really. I still haven't quite figured out why, but I'll figure it out eventually. But you
That's
know,
funny. I love it because it's sort of like a special chicken,
oh, I know.
and it is good. And even I want to make it, but you made a good point before. You had mentioned that it's very economical to make.
Yes, it is. Back then, before inflation started getting bad, you could make everything with, less than $3.
I'm
And
sure you still could, like,
yeah, you still could. Yeah, it's still possible.
because
It's still,
onions aren't expensive, garlic's
mm-hmm,
not expensive, a couple of tomatoes aren't, and then if you get chicken's usually pretty cheap.
exactly. And one other point that I wanted to bring up, Renee, um, for those that don't, for those that feel, I don't want to cut up all the vegetables. Well, y- you could just add a can of the tomato sauce, the 8-ounce cans, to the pasta that's already browned, along with the water and a few pieces of onion, and it'll still come out very, very good.
And if you can put like you don't have to cut it a lot like the onions or anything because if you put it you can put like a couple of slices or whatever into the blender. You don't even have to cut it
Yeah,
small.
exactly. And instead of, if you feel more comfortable you know, adding the tomato sauce to the blender, well, even better. Even better, you could
Exactly.
add the canned tomato sauce to the blender along with the onion and the garlic.
Yeah, it's quite easy to do that. And like even the onion or whatever or the garlic, you can just throw them practically whole into the blender. The onion I'd probably cut in quarters, but
Yep.
you don't have to dice it or anything if you
Mm-hmm.
want it in
Yep.
diced pieces, but whatever you want.
Yep.
Well, Nelly,
Yes.
tell us if you knew of someone who was going blind, what would you tell them? What's your philosophy? What are your thoughts?
I would tell them that life is, it's not over yet. I basically see it as I basically see it as another chapter of life beginning. That everything is still possible, that you could do everything except drive.
Right. And maybe now we're getting closer to driving with the self-driving cars. However, I don't want to drive.
No, no, no. I personally, you know, I you know, technology has got so advanced, and there's a few very, very creepy things out there that I'm not going to mention here on this podcast, but I feel horrified at what I have learned recently.
Oh no, oh no. Well, tell us, how can anyone get a hold of you if they'd like to speak with you or contact you?
Sure. You could get in contact with me uh through well, I'm gonna leave my email address. I'm gonna spell it out. It's and LLIE period CARD E- E- oh, I think the dog wants to talk too.
Oh, I
ENAS
can't even hear.
at gmail.com. I'll repeat it again. It's NELLIE period CARDENAS at gmail.com.
Thank you, Nelly. And if anyone wants to have Nelly's recipe, you can go to our website at www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com. And you can find recipes and tips to go along with each recipe. On the upper left-hand corner, it says recipes and tips. If you want personalized lessons from me, especially since the holidays are coming up, you can go to our Cooking Without Looking Patreon page. And you can go to our YouTube page. It's a Cooking Without Looking TV show YouTube account. And you can find, I think last count, 136 shows of ours, including 9 from other countries where you get recipes from other countries as well. So again, thank you so much, Nelly, for being with us today. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And thank you for helping us change the way we see blindness. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same, Renee, and I hope to be on the TV show very soon. Thank you once again.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome to be on anytime you're ready.
Thank you.
Sure.